Good evening and welcome back to my channel. This evening we are going to make cupcakes. So tomorrow is my mom and dad's anniversary. It is their 52nd wedding anniversary. And with the anniversaries, we all get together and each of us cook something. So my mom decided this year that I would make Hong Kong chicken. So I've made the Hong Kong chicken for tomorrow. And then I decided I would make some cupcakes. Now, my dad doesn't like chocolate cake. And my dad likes anything with caramel. So for my dad, I'm going to make a caramel vanilla cupcake. And my mom loves chocolate cake. So for my mom, I'm making a super moist chocolate cupcake with a butter fudge icing. So let's get started immediately. So I've put the oven on, it's preheating at 180 degrees Celsius. And I'm going to start by sifting 1.5 cups of flour and 2 teaspoons of baking powder together. And to that, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of sugar and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So next I'm adding my wet ingredients. So 1/2 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of oil, and 2 eggs. And I'm going to mix well. Now you could use an electric mixer to do this, but since I'm making vanilla and chocolate cupcakes, I'm keeping the mixer clean for the chocolate cupcakes. I forgot my vanilla essence. 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. I don't know if anyone still uses teaspoons for vanilla essence. Everyone just seems to use the lid. I found the best way to measure cupcakes is with an ice cream spoon. So these cups are nice and firm, so I can pick them up, but you don't always have this luxury. You'll see they're quite empty, but these are quite big cups. And I'm just going to make sure that I put the same amount of mixture into every cup. So these are ready for the oven and they're going to go in for only 15 minutes. So while those are in the oven, I'm going to prepare the chocolate cupcakes. So I'm going to start by sifting together 3/4 cups of flour, plus 2 extra tablespoons, and it's 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And I'm going to sift that together with 1/4 cup of cocoa with 2 extra tablespoons of cocoa added as well. To that, I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar, and then I'll just give my dry ingredients a little mix. So to the dry ingredients, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of milk, 1/4 cup of oil, 1 egg, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. And I'm going to put that in the mixer and turn the mixer on and let it mix until it is just combined. So that is fine. I'm just going to scrape the sides and just incorporate what didn't mix. And to that, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of freshly boiled water. And I'm going to mix that in by hand. Now, once this has been incorporated, you will see that the mixture is very thin. That is normal. So you can see this is a very runny mixture. That's right, when we make chocolate cupcakes, we want moist chocolate cupcakes. And like I said with the chocolate cake, if you want a moist cake, you need to have quite a runny mixture. So let's put them into the cups. So hopefully I'll be more successful this time. Let's see. These cups that you can lift up are so nice. So I've put an ice cream scoop of mixture into each cupcake cup, and there is still some left. So now I'm going to share what's left evenly into these cups, because I'm going to use all this mixture up. I'm not going to waste any of it. So the cupcakes are in their cups, and the first batch is almost done. As soon as that is done, I'm going to put these in. I try to get them all the same size, but I'm not really good at that. So we just wait. So the timer just went off, but since they're a bit bigger than usual, I'm just going to check if they are done with a toothpick. And now I'm going to put the chocolate ones in for 22 minutes. It's between 20 and 22, so I know my oven. With my oven it's 22. With yours it might be slightly shorter. So that's going to go for 22 minutes. I'm just going to set the timer. And then you might wonder what I did with the toothpick. Basically, I stuck a toothpick into one of the cupcakes, and if it came out clean, the cupcakes were done, and it came out clean. 22 minutes, let's take them out. So, this is what you do with the toothpick. And if it comes out clean, your cupcakes are done. Now, you usually do that in the oven, but I know my oven, so I know it was cooked. But if you're using someone else's oven, please do that in the oven. And then cupcakes with cups like these are so easy to remove. You don't even have to wait until they're cold. So vanilla cupcakes and chocolate cupcakes, we're going to leave them to cool down now. And then in a little while, I'm going to show you how to get caramel into there and how to make icing and to ice them. So the cupcakes have cooled down and they are ready to start decorating and filling. So I'm going to fill the vanilla cupcakes with caramel because my dad loves caramel. I've already done 10 of them and I'm going to show you how to do it with the final 2. So I'm going to start by cutting a square with a sharp knife in the middle of the cupcake, and I'm just going to remove it. And I'm going to fill that with caramel treat. Now, usually when people fill cakes with caramel, they keep a piece of the cake and they add it to the top. But my family really likes caramel. So I'm just going to fill it all the way from the bottom of the cupcake up to the top with caramel. So there are my 12 caramel stuffed cupcakes. And what's really awesome is I have all these little pieces of cake that I get to eat. I use the fact that I have to taste if the cupcake is okay as an excuse, and I can add caramel to it. You can see the texture of the cake on the plate. So now I need to make the icing for the cupcakes. I'm going to start by making the vanilla icing. And what I have in here is I have 200 grams of icing sugar and I have 100 grams of butter. Now the butter needs to be quite soft. Okay, this is not soft enough, and I don't feel like pressing butter into icing sugar for the next half an hour. So I'm going to soften it in the microwave slightly. To do that, put the microwave on its lowest setting and put it on for a minute and watch it. After a minute, it probably will be soft enough. So this was in for 30 seconds and it was way too long, but I'm going to make it work. So we're going to start by mixing the icing sugar with the butter. So usually I'd add some milk, but because the butter was so soft, I can't really add any milk. So this is just butter and icing, and I'm going to ice my cakes with it. I am a big fan of a messy icing, so I'm just going to put some on, and I'm going to move it around a bit until it's completely covered. So I'm not going to lie, icing was too little, and I made some more. So I used 300 grams of icing and 150 grams of butter. When you make cupcakes, I always feel that it needs like a topper of some sort. When I was a child, people used to put cherries on cupcakes, but I don't think that cherries are going to enhance the caramel at all. So what I've done is I've bought these white Kit Kats, and tomorrow I'm going to open it up and I'm going to break it in half, and I'm going to put half a Kit Kat on each cupcake. So the vanilla cupcakes are finished except for the toppers. Now in this bowl, I have 300 grams of icing sugar. I have 3 slightly heaped tablespoons of cocoa, and I'm going to add 150 grams of butter that I've softened in the microwave. And I'm going to mix like I did before. And now I'm just going to add a few drops of milk. That's about 2 teaspoons. Let's see what that does. It kills your arm, but it's worth it in the end. And this is exactly what you want. You want a sort of fudgy, gooey, thick icing. And I'm just going to ice them exactly the same way. So all the chocolate cupcakes are iced, and I'm going to put cherries on them, but not fancy cherries. I'm putting on the old-fashioned cherries we used to get, the sugared ones. So I'm going to take one cherry, and I'm just going to put it on upside down. And I'll just keep going until they all have a cherry on. Sean had an idea that I put a Kit Kat onto one of these and just take it off again. So let's do that. So let's see how they're going to look. I'll figure it out tomorrow. That looks a bit like a rabbit and that looks a bit incomplete. But I'm sure that my family will enjoy having chocolates on their cupcakes. So chocolate cupcakes and vanilla caramel cupcakes for my mom and dad's anniversary tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. If you enjoyed the recipes, please like them. And if you enjoyed my other recipes, please subscribe to my channel. So have a good evening, and I will tell you next week how the cupcakes were.